because about 90 to 95% of the time, they just tell you. They're so shocked. They're so not used to it. They're like,
let's kick things off. Tell us, how the hell did you get in real estate? What were you doing before that? How did you get in real estate?
last game, high school football. Next Saturday morning, mom wakes me up and says, don't come home until you have a job. Football's over now. And when my mom says that kind of stuff, she's serious. So I went out. I begged at the new Pizza Hut to give me a job as a delivery boy. Started there, went to North Texas for college, but stayed at Pizza Hut, worked my way up to shift manager, assistant manager, eventually got my own restaurant as a general manager. 8 years later, a guy comes in from corporate, says, you know, we should have never promoted you. You're nothing but an overglorified shift manager. And I realized at that point in time, I have wasted 8 years of my life. Like this pissed me off and quit right there on the spot. Didn't know what I was going to do. So cashed in my 401k, bought a property on a sandwich lease option, which I'm not going to go into the details of what that is. But if you look it up, it's a complicated little strategy there. And I became a cart boy at a golf course at 26 years old, just trying to figure out what I want to do in my life. And Cassie was my best friend at the time. I was dropping her off at her bartending job. And she said, we should start our own business. I said, okay, let's do it. So we had a couple of failed ideas there that didn't really take off, but inevitably 13 years ago, as of 5 days ago, we started our first business. And, you know, from there, it kind of transpired. We're entrepreneurs now. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
We were doing insurance supplement claims for contractors. So hailstorm comes, insurance says, here's $10,000 for the roof. We were picking all the items that they missed, boosting the claim up and taking a percent of that boosted claim.
Yeah.
I realized my employees did not know how to talk like a contractor. So I decided, let's go out, door knock, let's sell roofs so we can actually talk like contractors. We started getting roof jobs, making more money doing that. And eventually we got hired by investors to start flipping their houses. We started doing remodels. Listen, we taught ourselves, we bootstrapped it, baby. We came from nothing. And 2014 is when I spent $65,000 on education to learn how to get deals off the MLS and sell them on Craigslist. That's what I got for $65,000. And it gave us enough to know what an assignment was, a double close was. And the first year we did about $750,000 in assignments, and then 7 figures plus since then. First couple of years, we only did MLS because we didn't know any better. Yeah. And then eventually Cassie and I went to a big RIA here in DFW. And when we left, I'll never forget, we were driving home and I said, hey, you notice how no one else does deals off the MLS? They're always talking about this direct to seller. I think we're doing things the wrong way. And so we figured out direct to seller marketing, and it's been crazy ever since.
Wow. And so give us some numbers. Tell us, like, how many deals do you think your operation has done in the last 12 months, ballpark?
12 months? Man, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably, let's say 500.
500.
During those 50 days, I sent out 160 plus contracts, 122 got signed. And right now we've closed about $740,000 from those contracts. And we still have another, I think we have 30 properties right now in Dispo on Investor Lift. So we still have another 30 to sell.
You're crushing it. You don't have a big operation. Like, how many people you got in your operation?
So it's me and Cassie are the owners. We have a bookkeeper, we have a TC, and then we've got 4 Dispo and then 8 VAs.
Wow. So super lean operation. That's why I always tell you don't need a ton of overhead. You just get some Google Ads leads. Like, your business model, correct me if I'm wrong, your business model is pretty much buy the leads from iSpeed to Lead and Lead Zolo, get on the phones, close them, take those contracts, get the photos, throw them on Investor Lift, dispo them. That's essentially your business model.
Pretty much. And then listen, it's changed over the years. I mean, there was a point in time in 2018, we had 74 employees across the country. We had operations in Alaska, Hawaii, Arizona, Alabama. I almost bankrupted our company.
Taking on too much overhead.
Right? Dude, overhead plus, I mean, I decided, why are we going to wholesale? Let's just take everything down. So we were buying everything, because with success with wholesaling, you gain access to private capital. So from that point, I decided, let's just buy everything. Didn't have the right systems and processes in place, and I tried to kill my operation. So
I've seen so many wholesalers basically commit suicide doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Like, just stick to wholesaling. Once you start getting involved in the physical world, like, the beautiful thing about wholesaling, we're working not in the physical world. As soon as you start fucking around with the physical world, you no longer have scale.
Yeah.
And then the overhead
all
starts
those deals.
out.
160 contracts sent from sitting right here. I'm not going to view one of those properties. I mean, I look back and I laugh at myself 5 years ago. I was like, I was a dumbass back then. I don't know
we all do that. Look at the shit I was doing 5 years ago. And then 5 years from now, we'll probably be laughing at what we're doing right now. Like, you just always love it up. Can you give us like a crash course basically on your closing style? Like, what goes through your head? What do you do on the phone that's different? What do you see other people messing up on? What's your approach to the call that allows you to have these kinds of numbers?
Yeah. Start with, first and foremost, I'll go through the entire process, but first and foremost, don't try to talk like me, because I don't try to talk like you. Talk like myself. And I think that is number one. People will respect the fact that you are being genuine and you are being yourself. So start there. Okay. Now, in the process, a lot of these are inbound leads, right? So specifically talking about speed to lead, lead Zolo, BC, things that have come to us. You want to verify that they still want to sell the house. Okay. That's first question. Hey, is calling to see if you're still looking to sell 123 Main Street. Yep. How much are you looking to get for it? This is where people have a problem. And I know, like, we're already like 37 seconds into this, and I'm saying people have problems, but literally I will tell them, sit down and ask it just like that. How much do you want to get for that property? And somehow they ask them how their day is, what they're doing. And I'm like, nope, you fucked up already. Like, second question out of the gate, how much do you want to get for that property? Because about 90 to 95% of the time, they just tell you. They're so shocked. They're so not used to it. They're like 120,000. I did a live with Jerry Norton yesterday. I talked to two sellers. Went exactly the way. Hey, how much you want to get? 120. How much you want to get? 150. Boom. The next question is open-ended question. Tell me a little bit about the property. What do you got? What do you have going on? What you got going on? Something like open-ended. That. Very open-ended. Here's the reason why you ask it that. What do you have going on? They're going to tell you what is the most important thing to them to talk about. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go talk about something they don't care about. So if they want to talk about financials, they want to talk about the tenant, they want to talk about the condition. This is them right out of the gates explaining their motivation and their pain points. So it's funny because my calls are so short and concise. And the reason why is because we're getting down to it so fast. As you haven't heard me talk about wanting to build a rapport or anything like that yet, right?
Yeah.
It's right out of the gates. I know their price and I'm finding out their motivation. And as they're talking, they're pretty much telling me their pain points. As they're talking, if they don't want to open up, you have to continue to ask open-ended questions, okay? Continue going down that path to learn more. If you haven't gotten enough, maybe you have to pivot. If they want to talk about the condition, or they give you the generic, like it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot. What else do you want to know about it? Flat out tell them, listen, you just came to my website. All I have is an address. I don't know anything about your property, but I might be interested in writing you a check for the property. So the more you can tell me, the better this is going to go.
Yeah.
And from there, just shut up. A lot of this revolves around shutting up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not about us. It's about them. So the more that you can ask open-ended questions and make them do 80, 90% of the talking, the better that you're going to be. Once you've gathered all of the information that you need, condition, occupancy, you understand their pain, now you need to dial down and start asking close-ended questions to make sure that you're prepared for your offer. So, for example, if they never mention anything about the big systems of the house, roof, foundation, HVAC, hot water heater, things like that. Start asking close-ended questions about that.
Tell me about roof. later in the call. A lot of people start out with that stuff.
Right. So once you've heard everything that they are willing to just tell you, now you dive in and get all of your little details, right?
Yeah.
The whole time you're doing this, you're comping the property and you're really just preparing yourself to know, is their asking price a property that we need to spend time on? If it's not, you can just end it right there and say, hey, listen, at 120,000, I don't think I'm going to be a good fit for you. It looks like you're asking about full retail. You should probably list that with a realtor. Pull away, straight up. I don't want your shit. I'm not your solution. Because right there, they're going to come out, and if they are motivated, they're going to tell you, whoa, hold on, no, that was just a number. I mean, I need to sell the house right now. They'll come out with more pain and more motivation. If it's a good deal, it's where you insert those close-ended questions, and then you hit them back with, if I can cover all your closing costs, there's no realtor commissions, anything like that, what's the best price you could do for me? Because at this point in time, they've opened themselves up. Inevitably, they normally price drop themselves about 10, 15, 20%. And then at that point in time, you ask what their email is and you send the contract. You never even set a number. That's the ideal close right there. The reality of it is that we only close 1 out of 7 anyways.
If you had numbers like you, most guys are lucky.
Those are my numbers. 1 out of 7 on speed to lead and lead Zolo. Okay?
That's incredible.
So say you're 1 out of 14. Okay. Yeah. Still, that means 13 are going away anyways.
Yeah.
So be aggressive on the call, because those are the ones that are really good deals. And they're the ones that we want to be fucking around with. Yeah. Like, the reality of it is the ones that are difficult to close and we have to push and all of this mental manipulation and with the sales scripts and stuff like that. That's where it turns out, man, we're staring at a $5,000 assignment and they're pissed off. They don't want to give us enough time. There's title issues. Like, be aggressive, filter out the people that you don't want to do business with. And at the end of the day, remember, you are the buyer.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, Robert. Real estate investing, wholesaling in particular, is the only industry that we do sales training
to buy something. It's so true.
No one had to teach you how to go to fucking Target and buy a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Okay. You just go in there and you say, I want that one. And you grab it. And then you go and you pay your money. Why don't we do the same thing when it comes to these houses? Hey, I don't know anything about your property. Sell me on your property. Why should I buy your property?
You got to flip.
And it's amazing when you tell a seller to do that, because, man, naturally they have their own sales skills. They'll tell you everything that you want to know.
Joe's asking, do you change your sales process when the lead comes in from a cold caller as opposed to inbound from Google Ads or something like that?
So funny enough, no. And here's the reason why. Because my VA calls them and says, do you want to sell? And if they say yes, it's a lead. Okay. So yes, they want to sell. They ask what the price is, what the condition is, and what's the occupancy. That's all my VAs do. Okay. So 4 questions, the 4 pillars, right? Then it comes to me and I call them back. If they haven't given a price, I'm going to ask the same thing. Hey, this is RJ Bates. Just call and see if you still want to sell that property. You think you talked to May the other day? Yep. How much you looking to get for it? And magically they tell me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have some magic wizard sauce that goes through the phone that makes them say it. But more often than not, they give it to me. If they don't give it to me, then you say, okay, tell me a little bit about the property. What you got going on? They tell you. And then instead of hitting them with what's the best price you could do when you're done, you just ask them again. So you didn't have a number in mind? Because, I mean, dude, I don't want to waste each other's time. I'm sure you've got a number right now. And one of my favorite lines to use as well. They just won't give it to you. Ask them, are you afraid that I'm going to offer you more than what you're going to tell me? Because I can promise you that's not going to happen. And then they'll be like, I
promise you that's not going to happen.
It's not. Or you just drop the $1 offer. I've done that before. When I'm really feeling myself, it'll be like, all right, $1. What's your number?
Love it. Savage. Go ahead, Davis.
Hey guys, by the way, RJ, congrats on the Closers Olympics, man. I was watching that. That was pretty epic. So right now, my brother and I, we're calling it the Wednesday playbook. So we're like rushing to get to the 100K from the time we talked, and we're actually like funding and closing this month. We're going to be right there. So we're looking to shift, like Robert said, like we've done 2 months of like outbound leads, and it's, everybody knows what cold calling is. So we're going to shift to the PC model. I think everybody's been talking about how much success that is. I guess my question, and curious to hear from both you guys, do you recommend going with a done for you situation with like LeadZolo, where you're just paying, they're doing everything themselves and sending you the leads? Or would you guys think in this situation, recommend getting set up with like an agency that'll build out like your own website and make it more customizable? I guess starting out in the PC game, what do you guys think is the most effective? And I guess, the biggest bang for your buck?
I can answer that pretty easy for you. Do you want to stop the momentum that you have right now to go meet with an agency and talk about what color you want your website to be and where's your logo and what's the copyright and how to spell your last name again? Because it has 3 fucking F's in it. All of this bullshit that you're going to be dealing with to get that set up, and then hire an agency that you hope, first of all, they're taking a piece of it, right, to run this for you. Same thing that LeadZolo's doing. Or you could just say, hey, LeadZolo, $100 per lead, and what's your market right now?
Right now, we've primarily been in North Carolina and Georgia, but we just started doing Florida, and we're also doing Alabama now.
Oh, bro, those are like 4 of the top markets to get deals from LeadZolo. It's all day. I'm just telling you right now. Go cherry pick deals from Speed to Lead. Go on to Speed to Lead's website. Wait on it to say poor condition, vacant, need to sell ASAP. Snipe that one. Got it. And then LeadZolo. Say, hey, send me deals in the southeast part of the United States, and you're paying $100 a lead. That's going to be, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, that's probably going to be cheaper than what you're going to be paying if you're running your own damn PC.
100%. Yeah. When you first get started, don't try to run your own PC account right away. Let's say you have stacks of cash in the bank. Because a lot of people, they try to do everything. What you got to do is you got to master one thing at a time. And the first thing you got to master is closing the damn leads. Forget about everything else. Just get on the phone, and until you're closing at least 1 in 10, don't even worry about anything else.
Okay.
You don't need business cards. You don't even need a fucking website. All you need to do is get some leads. All right, guys. Thanks so much, RJ. Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank all of you. Let's get rested up this weekend. Come back Monday and crush it again. And next week we'll be on same time, same place with another office hour. So thank you so much, RJ. Really appreciate it.
See you guys.